Well, welcome to Inside London Scottish, and this week I'm delighted to be joined by one of the 13 new signings to the club, Paul Spivey. Paul, welcome. Welcome to the Athletic Ground, and more importantly to London Scottish.
Thank you very much, yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your rugby background and pedigree for people who perhaps haven't followed your career. Where have you played?
My best start to rugby was when I was at Leeds, when it was Leeds Tykes, under Stuart Lancaster. Played there from about 16 to 18. Came through, managed to get to England 18s. From there, kind of chose the education route. Went to college, and then I played kind of my first senior rugby at a team in Hull called Hull Ionians. From there, I moved to Dublin. And played 2 years in the kind of top club league for a team called Old Belvedere. And then from there, that's when I made the move to the Championship and then I went to Moseley Rugby Club.
And how long were you with Moseley?
I was with Moseley for 2 seasons.
Right, and both of those with Kevin Maggs, I guess, as head coach then?
Yeah, well, one was Ian Smith and Don Caskey, but then Don left and Kevin Maggs came in. And then, the second season, so last season, was the full season with Kevin, yeah.
Look, just going back a minute, you said you worked with Stuart Lancaster. What was that like? I mean, could you see then he was a coach that was going to go somewhere? I mean, he's currently the England coach and so on. Was there something special about him?
Yeah, there was. He's an interesting man to work under. Like, as a youngster, I think his background as a teacher, and he certainly has that rapport with younger people. He gets like very, very good results quickly. Like his coaching style and things is a person who demands respect, or that's how I found him. And so far in my career, he's kind of in the top 3 coaches that I've ever worked with.
Right, so that's great words indeed. Yeah. Now look, you're a second row,
yep.
And I think you played against London Scottish 4 times, and you came out on the wrong end of results 3 times out of the 4. Probably the last game being a must-win as far as you were concerned at Moseley.
Yeah, well, I was injured myself in the last game, so I played the 3 games and the 3 losses. So it was.
We won't tell many people that, obviously. Consistent.
Yeah, quite frustrating season last season for Moseley. But yeah, the 3 losses out of 4 games was not one of our highlights.
But actually, interesting to get a view from someone who's playing against London Scottish. What were the team like to play against? Because I think one of the things we found last season was that physicality was a big challenge for us. So coming up against teams like Moseley, which were physical, was not easy for us, and yet we managed to grind out the wins. But what was it like playing against Scottish?
Scottish, or have been to play against, quite a frustrating team to play against. Or certainly playing against them, you found that you've got a good structure, which is what we've been putting in place in pre-season so far. There's a big emphasis on structure and how the systems were going to play in things, and you could see that playing against them. It was frustrating once you broke them down. They organised very quickly. The defensive pattern was there. Off turnover balls, it was very dangerous. So it was quite frustrating. You had certain players last season who kind of made life quite difficult, like Adam Kleberg, people like that, who were difficult to play against. But yeah, it was more of a frustrating game. We had to kind of grind it out physically, but then we didn't get the results. So it was quite annoying walking off the park. So
the old adage, if you can't beat them, join them. I mean, what made you want to come down to London Scottish?
That's one reason, but it's the setup here. I'm quite impressed with. Every time I've come down, there seems to be a good atmosphere. The setup in regards to the coaching. People like Simon Amor, Alex Codlin are people who I think I can learn a lot from. Certainly someone like Alex Codlin, who's obviously an ex-Premiership second row, very experienced in coaching, a good player himself. Just to come and work underneath as a second row is quite a big thing for me. Just to learn, kind of work on set piece, kind of individual skills, and then to put that into a team environment.
Now, look, what's your nickname? Has it followed you down?
No, well, Paul Spivey. A lot of people pronounce Spivey wrong and say Spivey, so it's just Spiv.
It's a bit of a standard sort of, standard. But and how are you fitting in? I mean, the banter, it's there, is it, in pre-season and ribbing and so on?
Yeah, it's been a really good atmosphere so far. I think rugby guys are kind of, every team you go to, it's the same environment, so you can slot in really easily, which I think I have. I've really enjoyed the time with the lads, like working the gym, kind of on the field, conditioning, boys are pulling each other through in the fitness. So yeah, it's going all right.
Now, a lot of new signings. So, I mean, you started in the pre-season training with a lot of new other faces. How's everybody been fitting in, do you think?
I think it's been a good thing. I think kind of with the new faces, everyone's had to adapt to each other. It's kind of I think it's a new start for some of the old boys as well. So some of the guys who've been here a while have got to get used to quite a few new people coming in. So it's a bit of a fresh start for them. A few fresh faces and a few different. Like obviously, I'm Northern. There's a few lads who are Scottish who've come in. There's a few lads from the Midlands, and it's been really good. There's a nice mix of guys who are here now.
You don't feel like an ethnic minority being Northerner, do you?
No, I think am I the only Northerner? I think I am. But no, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. No,
you'll take that.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And what are your personal ambitions for this season and so on? As far as London Scottish is concerned.
For this season, just to be kind of London Scottish consolidating themselves in the Championship last year, and this season, my view is that they can now push to not just be a team who scraps right on the bottom, to be a team who can compete with every team at the highest level and finish, obviously, mid-table and above. I think that'd be a good season for Scottish.
Now, I've got to find out a few personal things about you. Married or single or courting at the moment?
Not at all, no. Still single.
So there's an advert out there for a few ladies out there. And your favourite food? Curry, Chinese, what would it be?
Probably a Sunday roast.
Sunday roast.
Yeah.
Okay, not too many of those. Obviously, Simon, he won't be having during the season. And favourite movie?
Geez, I've got a lot. I'm a big fan of all the classics, like the Bourne films. I quite like a bit of Pirates of the Caribbean, just some bit of cheesy films.
What are you currently listening to on your personal music machine? I'm not going to use a branded name.
What am I listening to? I don't really know. I can't remember. I think it was things like the Wombats, the Vaccines. I like a bit of indie.
And Coronation Street or EastEnders? Neither. Although if you're a Northerner, presumably it's got to be
Emmerdale.
Emmerdale. There you go. Listen, Spiv, thanks very much for joining us. And one of the things you will learn down here, I'm sure you'll find, is that the crowd are fantastic down here. And no doubt you're happy to talk to anybody once the season starts and give them the benefit of your Northern knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, listen, on behalf of everyone, have a great season, mate. Welcome to the club, and look forward to seeing you on the pitch.
Cheers. Thank you.